What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. This is a news channel, so we have an obligation to ensure that our audience is informed about what is happening right now and what is about to happen in the realm of politics and the culture war. We have a pretty good track record, actually, of predicting the news cycle because we pick up on signals and pattern recognition throughout the landscape of politics. We pay very close attention and we never sleep, and we track these things, follow them, and put the pieces together and can pretty readily predict what's going to happen next. And what's going to happen next is going to change the course of American history forever. With extreme confidence, we can predict that this man will not be president, maybe as soon as this weekend. The reason we can do that is not because, well, we want that result. In fact, I want Joe Biden to continue on and slump through November and get his ass handed to him in a 40-state Trump landslide. But you can't always get what you want. We are picking up these signals and the patterns, and it is our obligation to report back to you that maybe as early as this weekend, in a pre-scheduled interview with George Stephanopoulos, Joe Biden may well resign the presidency. Now, why do we think that? And what is the data backing all of that up? Because again, we don't actually want that result. We think it'd be best for Joe Biden to continue. But here we are. This is the president's daily schedule today. Okay, you can see this is today's date. It was just released a few minutes ago. And you can see here a very curious thing that happens because Joe Biden, of course, doesn't wake up until around 11 o'clock in the morning, doesn't even start attending meetings until 11:30. The president's daily briefing here, which is a classified briefing, will be attended by the vice president. Well, I haven't seen that in forever. Because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris hate each other, why would the vice president be attending the president's classified daily briefing and then they're having lunch together? That's a pretty peculiar sign. That's a strange signal that something is up. And then why would the president, Joe Biden, be meeting privately, again, closed press, with Democrat governors in the White House? There's a report that Gavin Newsom is already in Washington, D.C., and Gavin Newsom is going to personally be there at the White House with Joe Biden for this governors only meeting, Democrat governors only meeting. Well, this is a little scary. If you look at Joe Biden's schedule, this is very, very strange. And it gets even scarier if you are Joe Biden. This is a report that was published earlier this month, before the presidential debate, before this entire news cycle, saying that if Joe Biden is to be removed, you have to watch what Pelosi and Obama are doing. Pelosi and Obama are the only true power brokers in the Democratic Party. And so we have been watching them like hawks, especially after Joe Biden's abysmal debate performance. And then, like a firing of a rocket, like right on time, like a Swiss train, Nancy Pelosi comes pulling into the station yesterday, looking like a transitioning Michael Jackson on national TV, saying, maybe Joe Biden has a condition. Reading effectively Joe Biden's political obituary live on TV.
You have all these things that he was masterful in helping to orchestrate, to write, and to pass. So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking, and the rest. He has a bad night. Now, again, I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition?
Now, this is not what you say about somebody who you wish to be the commander-in-chief. This is not something that you say, even if you are sitting here live-action role-playing Michael Jackson on TV, about anybody that you want to be in charge of the country, having the most difficult job in the world, which I think we can all agree is the president of the United States. You don't say, do they have an episode or a condition? You don't talk about people like that. People who have conditions and episodes go to mental institutions and nursing homes. They get help. They seek help. Nancy Pelosi saying that is a signal. Tucker Carlson, starting the week off, said that Obama's lying. Obama sent out a tweet supporting Joe Biden, but that in private, Barack Obama wants to throw Joe Biden into the trash compactor. And then lo and behold, what happened yesterday? Barack Obama voices concerns after shaky debate, offers Biden advice. Oh, I wonder what advice Barack Obama is offering. Former president told allies that Biden's already tough path to re-election grew more challenging after the debate performance. Now, that's backed up by data. So Barack Obama now leaking to the press, and this is following a pattern and a series of leaks that are damaging only for Joe Biden. Now, the person who would be in charge of Joe Biden's path to renomination, the man who effectively got Joe Biden the nomination in 2020 by rigging his home state of South Carolina in favor of Joe Biden, James Clyburn is his name. He is the old man of the House, and he is a member of Congress, and he effectively wields with an iron fist the Congressional Black Caucus. Here he is yesterday saying that Vice President Kamala Harris would be a great president. Well, what signal is that?
Would you feel if there is a decision for him to step down, if he decides that, and he has to decide that, or if the party pressures him to do that, how would you feel if they worked around and tried to go around Kamala Harris because of her lack of high poll numbers and popularity and broadly based? Do you think it's hers to have if it is not his?
I will support her if he were to step aside.
I will support her if he were to step aside. Talking about Kamala Harris. Well, that's pretty interesting. It's also pretty interesting that now we have the phalanx of Obama and Pelosi turning on Joe Biden ever so slightly in a very calculated and political way, just as was predicted right here. Obama and Pelosi will be the power brokers. You must watch them. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been watching, and these are the headlines. Obama shares concerns about shaky debate. Former President Barack Obama privately told allies who have reached out to him that President Biden's already tough path to the election grew more challenging, a harsher assessment of the presidential race than his public comments. These are leaks from Barack Obama, and these leaks were authorized by Barack Obama. Now, the dam officially breaks. Now we have members of Congress who are sitting members of Congress, not just candidates, calling for Joe Biden to withdraw. Things go very, very slowly and then all at once, right? Which is the old saying. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after a single member of Congress called for Joe Biden to quit the race, this man's name is Lloyd Doggett. He's from the Austin area in Texas. And he says Joe Biden must resign. Be prepared now, ladies and gentlemen, the waterfall, the gushing fire hose of members of Congress who will now call for Joe Biden's resignation is about to burst. Check this out. 25 House Democrats reportedly preparing to call for Biden to end re-election. The dam has officially broken. President Biden may soon face increased pressure from Democrats in Congress who drop out of the 2024 race. At least 25 Democrats are preparing to call on the 81-year-old president's resignation. This according to Reuters. Why is this important? Well, one, you can literally see the CPAP machine lines on Joe Biden's face, which is always just hysterical. Look at the amount of makeup they put on this guy. But two, why would they be doing it? I mean, again, let me make something very clear. These guys, this guy doesn't get, this is the member of Congress from Texas that called for Biden's resignation. This man, based on the way that Democrat politics work, this man doesn't get to go pee-pee in the little boy's room without Nancy Pelosi's expressed permission and a hall pass. This man, along with his 25 colleagues, are doing this with Nancy Pelosi's blessing. Nancy Pelosi is allowing this to happen. This is a very important signal. You must understand how Democrat politics work to know that headlines like these only get written with Nancy Pelosi's express permission. But it gets worse. The Democrat Party is effectively a blob that isn't made up of a candidate or anybody's ideas. It is effectively just a money laundering operation for dark money from globalists and people that wish for the destruction of America. And they use the Democrat Party as a vessel. And they use the Democrat Party as a battering ram to use against Castle America. And the Democrat Party has done a great job at hoovering up money from the worst people on earth and then siloing that and using that as a weapon against our nation in the form of BLM Antifa riots, in the form of Palestinian protests, in the form of degrading our currency, our culture, our police departments, and so on. These people hate America. So when the donors are angry, I mean, again, the Democrat Party is just simply a corpse that has been reanimated by dark money billionaires that use it to destroy this country, that hate us. When the Democrats are pissed, when the donors are pissed at Democrats, that is a screaming red, flaming signal. According to Democrat megadonors, the Biden team lied to us systematically over the years. Given the stakes, it's unforgivable, it's unconscionable. Biden world's darkest hour. Amazing. Biden may find the next 10 days to 2 weeks even more challenging than the past 72 hours. As polling numbers stream in, Democrat elected officials and fundraisers are inclined to not give the president or his team the slightest margin of error, benefit of the doubt. Donors have lost faith, they say. How stupid do they think we are, other donors say, as they complain that their worst fears are being realized because Joe Biden cannot win. This is what other donors are saying. Democrat donor. Kamala Harris is more threatening to those swing state voters than dead Joe Biden or a comatose Joe Biden. So if Joe has to go, it's going to be Kamala. And if it's Kamala, it's going to be harder to win. So Democrats are now freaking out about not only Joe, but Kamala. And who do you have to blame for yourself? We enabled this situation. Democrats turn on Biden's inner sanctum post-debate. Democrats are now completely in chaos, saying that their inability to rein in the psychotic and totally effed up Biden family has now gotten them in this position. And most importantly, the fact that they've been able to gaslight everyone into thinking that Joe Biden was fine. Nobody believed that. No one believed that Joe Biden was fine. They just ignored it. They turned a blind eye. Bad Dr. Jill Biden doesn't give a damn about America or her husband. She'll humiliate him till he can take no more because she knows what would become of her next. Yeah. Irrelevance is really such a scary thing for unhappy, overly medicated suburban white women in this country, which perfectly describes the mental illness of Jill Biden. Get a load of this. Is this normal? Is this normal? By the way, these are leaks out of the White House. These are leaks to harm Joe Biden from the White House staff. Another signal that things are collapsing. The White House resident staff, which serves the first family in the mansion living quarters, has been kept at arm's length. A former residence official told Axios that Jill Biden was so protective of the president that they wouldn't let us do anything for them. The separation between the family and the resident staff was so big, so divided, former official said. It's not supposed to be that, and it usually isn't. It wasn't in the Trump White House. The White House official said the president is deeply appreciative of the resident staff's work, but is unused to being waited upon regularly, so they kept them away. Yeah, right. Liars. Liars. They kept them away so that they wouldn't leak, so they wouldn't see Joe Biden's actual condition and leak on him. You ever seen a White House staff do this? The staff at the White House aren't allowed to be in the same room as Joe Biden. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't want to be in the same room as Joe Biden when they read these polls. These are the most recent polls out from CNN. In a comprehensive study of the American voters after the debate, Trump up 6. Trump up in every swing state. No Democrats beating Trump in these polls. And they polled a bunch of Democrats, right? They polled all these other Democrats right here. Whitmer, Harris, Buttigieg, and Newsom. No Democrats beating Trump. And now Democrats are leaking their internal polling. So there's external polling done by news organizations. Then there's internal polling, which is typically more accurate, done by the campaigns themselves. And what does this show? Absolute and total landslide defeat. Leaked internal polling memo shows Biden barreling towards landslide defeat. This is what these polls look like. The red, of course, is Joe Biden going down in the polls after the debate. Post-debate margin, Joe Biden destroyed. margin drop, destroyed. Joe Biden losing all of these swing states by double digits or close to double digits. This is their internal polls. This was leaked to the media. What does this tell you? So if Joe Biden's own campaign is leaking these polls, Democrat strategists are leaking these polls, it tells you that there is a plot afoot to replace Joe. Why is Joe Biden having an emergency meeting with all the Democrat governors? Well, because the Democrat governors had an emergency meeting without Joe Biden. According to Jake Tapper, earlier this week, Democrat governors held a call, just governors, no staff, no one from the campaign or White House. What happened next? Well, did they plot the replacement of Joe Biden? Why wouldn't they include the White House? Sirens blare as Biden campaign, as Trump inches ahead in state GOP, hasn't won in 24 years. That would be in New Hampshire. And now, of course, on CNN, Democrat strategists are saying it's over. The dam is officially breaking.
Anderson, I think it's fair to say the dam is breaking. Top Democratic Party leaders, this includes former and present administration officials, as well as major party donors, are now saying out loud what we've been hearing privately for days, that after what was a disastrous debate performance, they want President Biden to step aside for the good of the party and the country. They do not think this was a one-off event or just a bad night, and they think the stakes are too high and that, frankly, he would lose to Donald Trump.
David. Too little, too late, biatch. I'm calling it, says Senk. Biden's going to drop out. This is cascading out of control. They can't contain it. It's consumed the whole campaign. Is Biden going to magically be a dynamic figure who's going to change our minds about him? Amount to dramatic comeback? No chance. Official prediction, we're going to have a new candidate. And the official money is on Kamala Harris, something that we have been talking about for a long time, something that we've been predicting for weeks now, that Joe will drop out and Kamala will get an opportunity to become, your intersectional identity politics, intersectional feminist president, right? They'll get her for like 3 months and pray for a honeymoon election based on some type of win, right? She'll do some type of executive order and she'll call that some huge legislative win, and that'll be it. And that'll be their hope. You have Carl Bernstein on CNN now reporting, the famous Watergate guy, now reporting that Joe Biden, that these like episodes that he has happen 20, 30 times a month. You have the White House now leaking that Joe Biden only is functional between the hours of 10 and 4, and that Joe Biden takes naps and regularly doesn't get to work until 11 and then goes right to his napping schedule. So this guy who can't do the job of president is now trying to campaign again to be president. It's not how it all works. Tucker Carlson saying, this is nonsense you read about how only Biden can make the decision to leave. This is absurd. It's not how the Democrat Party works. No individual is more important than the collective. That's the whole point of the party. And Biden's specific case, he has got no constituency in Washington. Sure, some of his advisors benefit from his presidency, but the rest of the city has no loyalty to Biden. They don't care about him, and they've never taken him seriously. Any president that works for them, as long as he's a Democrat, it's never personal with these people. The individual doesn't matter. Tucker saying that they are going to throw Joe Biden into the trash compactor. And this is why we personally believe that Joe Biden, who has a big interview scheduled on Sunday with George Stephanopoulos, may well use that opportunity and may bend to all of the external pressures that you have mounting with Obama, Pelosi, Clyburn, Jamie Raskin, all of these congressional leaders calling for his ouster, maybe 25 more congressional leaders calling for Joe Biden to step down, the Democrat donors calling for him to step down, the polls collapsing, Joe Biden obviously in physical and mental collapse, continuing a series of embarrassing moments and degenerate behavior, on and on. Too many clips to play you, but even after the debate, nothing's changed. This is why we predict that Joe will go. and that America will be changed forever, and that we better buckle up. We just say it'll be changed forever because things are going to get dynamically wild and crazy over the next few months. So stay locked in, like, share, and subscribe to this video and this channel, and we will be there for you, ladies and gentlemen, as this ship keeps a rocking. Okay, it's your boy Benny.